This is Katie Colleen here. Welcome back, Colleen Clan, or if you are new, then come join the family for a celebration. We are celebrating 7,000 Instagram followers. It was actually for 5,000 Instagram followers, but it took so long to put this together that I'm at 7,000 now, so I'm calling it my 7,000 special, so no one knows how long it took. I let them choose a cosplay for me. Yep, basically any character out there and any outfit, I let them choose a character for me to cosplay. So I'm gonna start putting on makeup for said character and explaining a bit of the process, and then I also have a few questions from my Instagram followers which I'll be answering. I'm always a bit nervous letting any internet follower, or really anyone on the internet, pick costumes for me. Costumes are actually very expensive, or they take very long to make, or both. So you don't want to end up with a costume that you hate. Even though this is something that I was hesitant to do, I really wanted to do something for you guys because I truly never thought I'd be here. Realistically, when I started my YouTube channel, I wasn't sure I'd ever get to, I'm at 2,000 on YouTube now, and Instagram, I didn't expect to go anywhere. I was just using it as a messaging platform to connect with my YouTube subscribers. So I felt like it was really important to do something for you guys. However, I did set up a healthy boundary. I was not going to make the costume. I was going to buy it or commission it, whether I'm buying it used, buying it from a cosplay site, or professionally commissioning it from another cosplayer. I kind of set down the rule of I'm not going to make whatever you choose, so that, if people choose something that I don't have the skills to make, it's not awkward when I can't make it and it's a failure. So if you're not familiar with how Instagram works, you can do something called Instagram stories, but it only stays for 24 hours. And you can also do polls on these stories. So basically you'll open a poll, people can choose this or that, and after 24 hours you can't vote anymore, the story disappears and you have your solution. So it's a way to have polls with a closed 24-hour voting period. So the very first question I asked was if the character they're gonna pick for me should be from anime and manga or cartoons and comics. Now I realize this leaves out so many characters, I don't have gaming in there anywhere, but I feel like this kind of encompasses most of the costumes I do, most of the stuff I'm familiar with. Anime won, not by a lot, but anime won. There was a time that I feel like people just came here for Supergirl, and if I posted anything that was not Supergirl, then people would just be in the comments where's the next Supergirl? And I feel like we've really moved on from that era. I feel like the era of having to post Supergirl is kind of over. I feel like people are more interested in my anime stuff. Next question I asked was the genre of anime or manga. So I put down the options of shonen, magical girl, sports, or slice of life. And I realize again that there are a bajillion anime that are outside of those four. Those are just the four genres that I am most familiar with and have watched. Magical Girl won by a landslide. We're talking Magical Girl had 81 votes and the next follow-up was Shonen with 49. And this was quite the upset. This was, wow. The only Magical Girl cosplay I had done from anime was Muzakuro. That's it. I had only cosplayed from one Magical Girl anime, and so I was oh wow, they don't want to see what I usually make, I guess. To be fair, I think things would have been different if I had put a little description of what shonen means, because I think all the people that voted for comics and weren't super familiar with anime didn't know what shonen meant, but they knew what Magical Girl meant. So after that, I let my followers suggest some Magical Girl anime. I also looked up a bunch of Magical Girl anime and put that into the polls as well. So Sailor Moon, Cardcaptor Sakura, those are pretty obvious. Tokyo Mew Mew, Precure, Madoka Magica, Princess Tutu, Do-Re-Mi, and our favorite magical girl anime, Yu-Gi-Oh! Obviously. I think that person just like was not reading the instructions, but I went with it anyways just because like I want everyone to have their voices heard. Little Witch Academia, and then we had an idol anime, AKB0048, and then Shugo-Char, and then we had another not magical girl anime, Dragon Maid, Mermaid Melody, Yuki Yuna as a hero. Those were all the anime that were suggested. And I basically did like a series of polls. You know, like the Smash Bros tournaments where like you beat this person and then people move up? It's like that. The only magical girl anime I'd seen was Tokyo Mew Mew. So Sailor Moon won, and I got to watching Sailor Moon Crystal because I didn't want to like spend so much money on a costume that my followers chose and like be completely ignorant of Sailor Moon. And then we have to narrow it down to a character and a outfit. So for the character, I asked if they wanted Sailor Moon or someone else, and everyone said, look, we don't want Sailor Moon. So then I went through another like tournament series of polls to pick out the Sailor Scout, and we ended up with Sailor Jupiter. And I asked if we wanted school uniforms or if we wanted Sailor Scout outfits, and her Sailor Scout outfit won. You know, the thing about Sailor Moon that is a bit weird for me though is with a lot of magical girl media, it's really easy for me to pick out a favorite girl. And I feel like that's just kind of what you do, is you pick out a favorite girl. And with Winx Club, my favorite is Tecna. With Tokyo Mew Mew, my favorite is Zakuro. With Miraculous Ladybug, my favorite is Queen Bee. Don't come for me. She deserved better. And with Sailor Moon, I truly cannot pick out a favorite girl. I love them all. There are cool things about all of them, and I cannot pick out a favorite Sailor Moon girl. So I am not upset with the choice of Sailor Jupiter. I think Sailor Jupiter is also really cool. It is a little, I don't want to say concerning, but a little bit concerning. According to these polls, this is the character the people want. They want Sailor Jupiter. And I don't really cosplay magical girls before this year. Now maybe you guys know me better than I do because this year has been the year of the magical girl. But I hadn't previously, so I was like, oh no, like they're coming into the ice cream shop and asking for enchiladas. And I don't serve enchiladas. Anyways, then I got to commissioning the outfit. So I want to make it like painfully clear, I did not make a single thing in this outfit you're gonna see. The costume and all the accessories were made by Sewing Savage. She has stunning craftsmanship. Stunning, I tell you, is absolutely gorgeous. The wig styling was done by A-OK Cosplay. They also did my Queen Bee wig. They're like my personal wig stylist now. That is where this costume's coming from. So don't tell me I did a good job or tell me to make tutorials on it. I did not make it. I just gave money to people and they made it very professionally. Let's get into some questions from you guys on Instagram. First question, what is your favorite thing to see or do at a convention? Well, thank you for asking. So at this last SakuraCon, I got in a car crash like an hour out from the convention. Could not cosplay the whole weekend, had whiplash for a month. And when you're not in cosplay, it becomes very, very clear what you actually do at cons. Because, you know, if I had been really into panels or if I had really been into like the dealer's hall, you could still do that out of cosplay. So if you want to know what I actually do at cons, I roll around in my cute little outfits and I take pictures with my friends. And that's what I like doing too. I'm really happy doing that and hanging out with my friends. What has been your most rewarding cosplay experience? It's having people reach out to me and be like, I didn't think I could cosplay as a disabled person and now I'm doing it because you inspired me, or You know, there are people out there who literally see me as a role model, like this. People see this as a role model, and that's just something that's been really hard for me to wrap my head around. I didn't have anyone when I was first a disabled cosplayer. I didn't have anyone to tell me like how to ask for accessibility at cons. There was no one to tell me that it was okay to like cosplay this character. There's no one to tell me how to like make my costume adapted for my disabilities. So getting to be that person for someone else is just so rewarding, because that's something I didn't have, but I can give to other people. What is your best and worst con experience? So my best con experience, I would say probably this last KomoriCon. That was KomoriCon 2021 when I did the lip sync. And it may not seem like a big deal, but the lip sync was this thing that I had in my head was like not meant for disabled people. So the first time I saw the lip sync was in 2017. I saw Uptown Cosplay perform at CoronacoCon, and I was like, this is like the coolest thing ever. I think this is really, really, really cool, but I don't think it is meant for disabled people. Then over the pandemic, I figured out how to do accessible dance. I saw a lot of people doing wheelchair dance. I got a lightweight wheelchair, which made a big difference. And I started doing dance. And I did the lip sync. And doing the lip sync, I really feel like it kind of flipped a switch in my head of, as far as things go in the cosplay sphere, I can basically do anything. I just need to be properly accommodated. Maybe there aren't cosplay things that are never meant for disabled people. Maybe if we make it accessible, disabled people can be part of anything in cosplay. For my worst con experience, y'all know what I'm gonna say, this last Sakura Con. There's something about getting hit by a car an hour out from the con, getting whiplash for a month, having to see a doctor for your whiplash, having your truck totaled, having to buy a new car in this economy. What got you into cosplay, and what's something you've wanted to study or learn more? So as far as what got me into cosplay, I do have like a separate story that goes a lot more in depth. It's called My Disability Story. I'll put it up here. But long story short, I went to a con, I saw cosplay, I thought it was cool, didn't take it seriously. Basically only cosplayed for Halloween and like one other con. Thought it was cool, didn't have the time, because at the time I was really big into athletics. I did martial arts, I rode a horse, I did cross country and track. I was very athletic. And so cosplay is only something I took seriously once my disability progressed to a point that I could no longer do athletics. I quit all of my athletics, I sold my horse, and I deep dived into cosplay. I'm not gonna say it was healthy, I sewed a lot. I was working through some things, but that's how Calling Cosplay got here. I would love to learn the more business sides of cosplay, like cosplay as a business. I did do a lot of research into commissions. I got that all kind of figured out. I, at a time, was going to very seriously open commissions, but I didn't because I am unhealthy. My chronic illness makes it so I really can't sew for that many hours. So I did a few test run commissions and it just wore me down. I am not healthy enough to do commissions full time. I did that, but I'd really love to know like how people are doing it. Like, how do you make patterns? How do you grade patterns? How do you sell books? How do you guest at a con? I'm really curious about all that stuff. And I'd love to know more about that too. I'm kind of just figuring it out as I go. Most embarrassing cosplay memory. I don't know if this is the most embarrassing thing that's happened to me, like at a con or in cosplay, but I do have a story that I think is like a uniquely embarrassing thing. Like, I feel like it's something that not a lot of people have had happen to them. And it was kind of, I don't know, looking back on it, it was kind of, I don't know, strange, I guess. So, wow, I look like a clown. I went a little too heavy on the blush. So this was at RadCon 2020, and I was competing my Elsa cosplay. I did this thing where I made an Elsa dress and then I painted Bob Ross designs on it. It was largely something I just did for YouTube. I don't really do that sort of stuff anymore, but I felt like it was a video that would do really good. Then it flopped. I was very sad, but I was like, I might as well take this and compete it anyways. And the thing with this Elsa cosplay that you gotta know is it's a ball gown. It is the first and last ball gown I ever did. I don't plan on doing another one. Because at the time, I was really big into cosplay contests, and I felt like the only way that you could really place in Masters was if you did ball gowns. The problem is that I didn't know anything about ball gowns. I didn't do any research. I didn't make any of the undergarments myself. I just bought them off of Amazon. All I made was the dress. It was one of those situations where like you don't know what you don't know, right? Like I didn't know a lot of things about undergarments for ball gowns, and I didn't even know what to look up. Like, what do you look up? Like, what's everything I should know about a ball gown? So I show up to this prejudging in this hot garbage Elsa costume. It does look really impressive, but once you really get close, it's kind of a mess. So at prejudging, you usually just explain how you make the costume. The judge asks us some questions, and then you're done. Like, it's really just explaining what you did so they have all the knowledge to judge you appropriately when the masquerade happens. And I'm showing the undergarments and how I have a hoop skirt and a petticoat under the dress. And one of the judges is like, you're wearing your hoop skirt wrong. You're wearing it at your hips instead of your waist. And I said like, oh, I didn't know. Like, I didn't know. And the judge is like, can I fix it for you right now? And I was okay with that. Now the thing about RadCons prejudging is that all of the other contestants are in the room like watching. So not only am I in front of a panel of judges, I'm in front of a room of other contestants, all the people waiting to be judged after me. So there's like an audience. So we lifted up my dress in front of the audience of other contestants, and she was like, you know, manhandling this thing and trying to get it up to like my waist, but like it was a big hoop skirt and I had this really big petticoat over it, so it was like heavy. So she's like doing this thing and like I'm just like this with like my dress up to my armpits in front of this audience. But the thing I think was actually most embarrassing was just how little I knew about ball gowns. So I'm in front of this room of other contestants that I'm gonna compete with. I'm competing in Masters category. I mean, I was in original design, but I would have been in Masters. So I'm a person who's supposed to be in the highest category of craftsmanship. And like, it's become very apparent to everyone in this room that I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know anything about ball gowns or hoop skirts. I don't even know how to wear them. Like, that seems like it'd be very, very basic. And since then, I have chosen to compete costumes that are less complex but have really good craftsmanship and I know what I'm doing, over competing costumes that are huge with wow factor and I have no clue what's going on. Last question. Do you ever reach crafting hurdles and how do you motivate yourself to get past them? So not only do I have crafting hurdles, I have something that I call the unfinished cosplay shame pile, which is literally just a pile of costumes that I've lost motivation on, couldn't finish, didn't make. So I'm very familiar with like having struggles. Now I'm not sure if what I do is necessarily good or helpful, but basically I just have people to hold myself accountable. I do a lot of collaborations and I don't ever want to drop out of a collab because I couldn't figure out the costume. There are other people counting on me, other people expecting me to be there. It's also really good to have friends to hold you accountable. I have some friends where we just tell each other our progress that we've done. This is what I'm working on. This is how long it's going to take me. This is what I'm going to do next. And having someone that you can like basically share the progress with and help you with maybe some roadblocks and just keep you accountable. Like, hey, you said you were gonna compete this at this con. Is that still happening? Don't overdo it. Sometimes you really do have to just, you know, scrap a project, but I think that helps. And my Sailor Jupiter makeup is on. So now I'm gonna put on this gorgeous costume and we're gonna do a little cosplay showcase with the costume that my followers picked for me. We did all the pictures first, and I was like, I'm gonna try some wheelchair dance, and if the wig yeets, the wig does yeet. And I did some wheelchair dance. Wig did yeet. Oh no. Oh, look how far back it slid. Ah, you're getting it like an HD. So I'm gonna have to get much stronger wig grips. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for 7K on Instagram, 2K on YouTube. I hope you liked it. I think I'm super cute when I have hair on. I think I am the cutest little Sailor Scout. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!